Hi, my name is Jasmine. My husband Gozi and I are expats who have lived in both India and Morocco. I love to travel, and when I can, I love trying new foods too. I am back in the States, ready to discuss what it is like living abroad as a Black woman.
What is up, everybody? I hope you're doing well. Today I am sharing 5 interesting things that happen when you travel and move abroad as a Black woman, and these are things that I've experienced that also might resonate with you as well. So if that is the case, definitely leave a comment down below, and of course don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And yeah, let's get started. As a Black woman who's also an expat, an American expat at that, I oftentimes feel like a stranger when I first move to a new country, and that's because most of the times I've never visited the country. Maybe I just did some research. Obviously, that is what we should all be doing, research before you move or travel. Not knowing anybody when I first arrive is usually how it goes. I'm lucky enough to have my husband by my side, so I don't have to feel completely alone. Let me just tell you, that doesn't last for too long, because as you live somewhere versus traveling somewhere, especially if we're talking about fast travel, you living somewhere gives you a chance to acclimate a little bit better. It also allows you to internalize your environment a little bit better. You meet new people a little bit better because you're there for a longer period of time. I have been able to cultivate some really great relationships with people over time, and that is what I love about expat life. I like the slowness of life because I don't feel like I have to rush, and there are opportunities for me to break out of my introverted shell, feel less like a stranger, meet new people, and find my groove as well. And the best part about it all is once you get over the feeling like a stranger effect, you then get to integrate yourself into different types of groups, whether that be just your general expat groups, Black expat groups, and local groups as well. And I think that having local friends in the place that you are living in is so valuable. So valuable. All right, we know this to be true. As Black women, we get stares and the questions of curiosity when we just travel. So imagine living in a place and getting those daily. So let me share this with you. Once you start frequenting places like stores, malls, even modes of transportation, your own workplace abroad, people will start getting used to you and you won't feel as special anymore. I mean, granted, you're special, but you'll feel less like you have eyes on you at all times. The questions of curiosity will definitely slow down, but you will feel more like you are making a home, like you are in a place that you can actually live. And again, that is what expat life does. It allows you to take that time to fully immerse yourself into a place, into their culture, and into a routine that allows people to get to know you better. And that is always my favorite part, is when people actually get to know me for who I am versus what I look like on the surface or what you think that I might be perceived as based off of the movies and shows and media you consume. Let's talk about living abroad as a single woman. And I am not single, but I do have a couple of friends that have given me their opinions on living abroad, being single. And it is difficult in some places and easier in other places. And it really just depends on customs and cultures. Like India, for example, was kind of a really difficult place to be single as a woman, as a Black woman, and just in general single because of the way that life already flows there. So to come in and plop yourself into a culture that is already existing and has its own like marriage customs, it's a little difficult to kind of like break through that. But in other countries, you know, singleness is maybe more receptive. And there may be other people in those countries that have national ties that are also single as well and maybe open to dating Black women. I honestly feel like if I were single, that would probably be my number one concern. And this is something that we all do as Black women before we travel or live abroad. Is X country safe for Black people, Black women? Because not everywhere is safe for us, and we have to be honest and upfront about that. So yes, dating in some places might be more difficult than in other places, and also making friends with locals might be a little different in some countries than others, just depending on where you're living. But my advice to you is go into your experiences with an open mind and some positivity, and don't put up too many walls of expectations, dating wise, partner wise, friendship wise, whatever. Just be open to what can happen, because that is what this life is about. Living abroad, traveling, expat life, all of it is about being open and being willing and ready for, you know, that openness of life. All right, so let's get real and honest. There are some places in the world that remind you that you're Black every single day, remind you that you are a woman every single day, and that can be tough. It just depends, and this is going to be the answer to most of these points. It depends on where I travel to and what is more visible, I guess, and if it's my hair being in an afro versus twist, or my skin being out versus covered, or my body, whether or not I'm wearing something form-fitting or loose, those things can be more of topic versus who I am, what I do, and maybe what my beliefs are. I think that's unfortunate because there is so much more to me than just my physical, but in some places, you are definitely looked at for the physical, the outward appearance first. And that's valid. That makes sense. That's human nature. But in some places around the world, people do have the desire to get to know you deeper. And again, that's what I love about expat life. When we are traveling, we sometimes just see the objectification of our skin and our body, our hair, and then we leave a place. And I'm always of the mindset of what happens after? What happens after the stairs? What happens after somebody has to touch your hair? What happens after that objectification? Do you just leave right away? Are you super offended? Or do you stay and, you know, see what happens, you know, throughout maybe a year or two? Obviously, I stay. I'm an expat, but I will say that out of all of those really kind of negative experiences, I've maybe had a little over a handful of bad experiences, really bad experiences regarding my skin tone, my hair, my body, all of that stuff. But I've had a plethora of really, really good experiences that do not stop me from traveling, that do not prevent me from wanting to live abroad as well. It's up to you to weigh the pros and cons of it all, but for me, the pros definitely outweigh the negatives, but I am aware of those negatives as well, so I can, you know, be situationally aware and prepared for, one, mentally how I will feel when and if those things happen again, and two, you know my surroundings and different things like that so that I am physically prepared as well if something happens. So I think this is going to be the last interesting thing about my time living abroad as a Black woman, but I have a ton more, so if you want more, let me know. Okay, so let's just get to it. Hair care. And I feel like I could do a whole video on hair and hair care while living abroad, while traveling, and all the things. But I will say this, when it comes to hair products, it is really difficult for me to find hair products abroad. In India, I actually did not find very many hair products. There is an Amazon India where you can order like Cantu products and different things like that. There were some curly girls that I actually worked with, beautiful girls of Indian descent that had bomb, beautiful curly hair, but they were able to buy the Cantu on Amazon because that's what they could afford. And for me, I was like, I never in my life would spend $15, $20 for some Cantu. I just can't do it. For me, when I do find Black hair products overseas, they are marked up like crazy, old sometimes. You just have to be mindful and, you know, do what's best for you. But for me, I don't like things being marked up and I don't like things being potentially expired. And so I'm really, really careful with what I buy, especially if it's marketed toward Black hair, which it usually isn't, or curly hair, which is very rare. I pack a lot of my hair care before I move abroad. I have this big giant tub in my room that I just like stuff with products. I stuff with hair extensions, like braiding hair, crochet needles, crochet everything. I do my own hair. That's something I highly recommend that everybody does. But because not everyone is skilled or fortunate, it's difficult. I oftentimes will venture out into brands that I'm still familiar with. So maybe like Tresemme, I've found that everywhere. I'm sorry, there's like freaking construction outside. Garnier is usually everywhere. And yeah, I resort to making my own products as well. That is a thing that I struggle with. And yeah, let me know if you want a whole video on black hair abroad. It's a thing, and I have a lot to say. That is it. Let me end this video here so I can get it edited for you all, and yeah, I'll post it so we can have some discussions in the good old comment section below. And again, don't forget to subscribe. You know, your girl is growing, and we want to keep growing, so keep your hands on that subscribe button. Push it. Be notified. All the things, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye. Mwah.